Hey everybody, how are you guys? Mel here. I am just popping on because I want to ask you what's holding you back? Seriously, I see so many people that struggle with their weight, and there's a lot of factors when it comes to what's going on with your weight. It's not all about calories in and calories out. I will tell you that right there. Sure, that's an equation, but it's not all about that. There's a lot going on in behind the scenes with our hormones, especially as we get older. Our metabolism changes, our body composition changes, everything starts to change as we near and hit menopause, perimenopause, and as we get older. It's the way it is. It's not going to be like it was when we were in our 20s. It's not that easy anymore. We need to make some changes. We need to adapt. We need to accept what it is like now and give ourselves some grace too. Like, I find that this is the biggest thing with so many people is we don't give ourselves any grace. We are always perpetually chasing a number on the scale. We're always looking for the quick fix, the fad diet, the thing that's going to help me get off the weight faster than necessary, like possible. Truly, it shouldn't come off that quickly. It's not going to be sustainable if it does. You need to find the sustainability in your daily life in order to make the changes that are going to last. It's really so important. And you have to get out of your own way, like truly, and stop comparing yourself. Stop trying each flippin' diet that comes out. It doesn't work. It really doesn't. It might for a short time, but it's not going to be long term. It's not going to be sustainable, and it's going to actually hurt your health. So I just want to talk to you about things that you can be doing as a woman to figure out what's going on. As I've said before, your weight is a symptom of something bigger. And a lot of times it's this invisible stuff going on in the inside that we can't quite identify. And it gets really frustrating, it gets complicated, and we get overwhelmed because then you start, Googling, and there's all this crap going around. You don't know what to believe. You feel overwhelmed. So you just do what your friend's doing. Well, what works for Susie might not work for Sally. So you really need to figure out what works for you. So when you look at what's happening, in society, we're always told you got to eat every couple hours, right? You got to keep eating every couple hours because this is going to help your blood sugar and blah, blah, blah. If you think about it, when you're eating every couple hours, you're not giving your body a chance to burn off the food that you've previously eaten, right? So when we are overeating constantly, and it's called overnutrition in a sense, if you're always eating, you are like truly having so much food that it makes it hard to cope, and it causes your metabolism to actually slow down. It can't keep up with the amount that we're eating. So I really always try to have people focus on 3 meals a day and no snacking. Now, of course, if you're really truly hungry, I never want someone to feel deprived or restricted or, that they need the food. Then I would say definitely have a healthy snack. But the idea is to try and let your body go in between the meals, 4 to 6 hours between your meals, so that your body gets a chance to actually do the work of breaking your food down and metabolizing it as energy. When we're always eating, then what happens is we are constantly, giving our body energy. It can't do anything with it. It's just too much work. And then we end up storing it as fat. We slow down our metabolism. It's a real thing. And people don't quite understand that. Our body can only handle so much. So I would also suggest that you try and go from dinner to breakfast and have that fast. So a minimum of 12 hours. Ideally, if you could go up to 14 would be like fantastic. And that's essentially just not snacking after dinner, right? If you eat a really well-balanced meal, so if you're having a protein, a fiber, and a fat at every meal, there is really no need that you shouldn't be able to go in between your meals without needing to snack. If you have a really good dinner, then you should be able to go until bedtime without needing to eat. And then you've got your sleep, and then you wake up and you do your thing, right? It's really not hard when you look at it in that term. I wouldn't suggest, depending on, where you are in your life, where you are with your cycles. I wouldn't suggest, doing like crazy long fasts in the beginning, because that could actually be detrimental to you. So you definitely want to start off small, but this would be a way to get your body on track for eating, the meals and not doing the snacking. And that's going to give your body a chance to repair and restore and rev up your metabolism, because you're not constantly giving it that food, right? So you're just having your 3 meals a day, and then you're fasting between your dinner and your breakfast. That's going to help your body reduce leptin resistance, reduce insulin resistance. It's like a really natural, easy way to, gain some control. The other thing I would say is to make sure you're drinking lots of water. A lot of times people think they're thirsty, they think they're hungry, but really they're thirsty. That's a key thing that so many of us underutilize when it comes to being able to manage our weight. We eat and eat and eat, but we don't think that we need to drink the water. Well, our water is really imperative for many functions in our body, but it certainly helps us move things along as well. So when you're eating so much, you want to make sure you're eliminating it, right? And so often people are constipated, and then you're eating all this food and it's backing up in your body. You want to keep that detox pathway open and clear, which would be making sure you're having lots of fiber, lots of water, so that you can poop. Pooping every single day, guys, is it's essential. And so many people I see do not poop every day. It's crazy. So that would be, ideally they say we should be pooping 2 to 3 times a day. So really, if you are not having at least one a day, you really need to get on that. 25 to 30 grams of fiber every day, plus all of your water, if you can, will be really beneficial to you. And you may notice that the weight just starts to come off naturally. You don't even notice. The other thing I would say is to make sure you are watching how much sugar you're having. When we are eating our regular foods now, if you're snacking, that's a chance to get more sugar, sadly. But when you're really paying attention to what you're building your plates on, what you're having at your meals, you want to make sure you're choosing really clean foods. If you're eating a lot of processed and refined carbohydrates, the chances are you're getting a lot of sugar. And if you're looking to get rid of that weight, you want at least no more than 25 grams of sugar in a day in order for sustainable weight loss. Sugar is the devil. Sugar, honestly, it's so good, but it really is so bad for us. It really causes hormonal imbalances. It causes sleep issues. It causes so many problems in our body that we don't really correlate the two. So I would say that could be something that's holding you back from reaching your weight loss goals as well, is how much processed foods and sugars you're having. So you want to really, dial that in, and you may start to notice some improvements just by doing that. The other thing is eating late at night. So I've already mentioned that you should really try to have your last meal being dinner and then fast through till your breakfast. But a lot of times, this is where us women, it's time that we find at home where we have some time for ourselves, right? The kids are sleeping, husbands might be sleeping, working, whatever they do. We want to sit down with that glass of wine and a TV show, and always we find, you're snacking. So I would really say not to do that. You are far better off to go to bed and get those extra hours of sleep than you are to have an extra second glass of wine. Truly, the sleep is vital for your wellness. It's when your body does all of its repair work, and you shouldn't really skimp on your sleep. But if you're sleeping, you're not snacking. So that would be kind of the way I look at that, because when we eat at night, we have much higher levels of insulin resistance, and that when you have that, it blocks fat usage for energy, and your body stores it as fat. So again, we want to minimize the amount of insulin, which is a fat storing hormone that we have in our body at all given times. So we really want to kind of dial in our nutrition and kind of really pay attention. If you're not starving, you don't need to eat. It's a habit. Get an herbal tea, have a glass of water, go for a walk, have a dance party, whatever you need to do to stay away from the food, try and do that, because we are seriously surrounded by food at all times, and it has become a bad habit for many of us.